In the top stories, Federation commemorates World Alzheimer's Month. Prime Minister Minis concedes defeat in Bahamas general election, and Italy extends green pass to workplaces. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today's Friday, September 17th, 2021. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey. Nationally, annually, World Alzheimer's Month is commemorated in September, while the specific day is commemorated on September 21st. The theme for this year's commemoration is No Dementia, No Alzheimer's, and President of the Alzheimer's Association of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Joan Rollins, is emphasizing the need for more awareness of the cognitive disease.
World Alzheimer's Month is an international campaign to create awareness about Alzheimer's disease and to try to challenge stigma. We try to challenge stigma because stigma is one of those reasons why we have such difficulty sometimes in getting people to accept that their family members have Alzheimer's. And if they won't accept, then it's difficult to get the person treated, and it's difficult to treat them right even within the home setting. So this is why we commemorate, not celebrate, because we don't really celebrate Alzheimer's, but we commemorate the month so that more people can become aware about the condition.
According to Dr. Rollins, Alzheimer's as a form of dementia is present in 60 to 70% of persons diagnosed and is therefore most common, as treating the disease greatly affects the bearer and those around them, their caregivers and/or family members. The association is asking persons in the community to give them support.
We are doing less this year than we would have done under normal circumstances. Because of the COVID, we can't meet in large numbers as we used to do before. In times past, we would have had a fun morning for caregivers, or we would have had a fundraiser or a seminar, some activity in which we would gather large groups of people together. But we're not doing that this year. This year we're having all the churches of the country read a statement on World Alzheimer's Day, and then we're having our own members do things in their own community, in the groups that they're already in kind of a bubble with, so to speak, and we're encouraging people in the various communities to do whatever they can in a safe way for people with dementia and their caregivers and their families.
Alzheimer's Month and Day will be commemorated in 105 countries worldwide. As part of the 38th Independence celebrations, a community fun day was held at the Newtown Sports Complex on Thursday. The fun day took the form of a football Masters Invitational with participation from 6 teams, namely Newtown, Keon, Spurs, Village, Molyneux, and Old Road. Prizes included $5,000, trophies, and more. During the matches, persons were able to enjoy local food and cultural performances. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the Newtown Sports Complex was only at half capacity for the event. Before entering the venue, persons were observed recording their names, getting their temperature checks, and hand sanitized in an effort to maintain the COVID-19 protocols. The Football Masters Invitational is a new event added to this year's 38th Independence celebrations. The Department of Community Development and Social Services is inviting persons 62 years and older to participate in this year's Oldie Goldie Patriotic Wear competition. The requirements to enter are as follows. Persons must submit 2 full-body shots of themselves wearing an elegant, classy, and creative outfit displaying all the colors of the national flag. The photographs must fully capture the front and the back of the outfit and ensure they are taken in an environment with adequate lighting. All entries must be submitted to the Department of Community Development and Social Services by WhatsApp to the number 662-5539 by Friday, September 24th, 2021. Entries must include the name and age of the participant. The winners will be announced on Thursday, 30th September, and an awards ceremony will be held on Friday, October 1st. Regionally, Philip Brave Davis will be the 5th Prime Minister of the Bahamas as his Progressive Liberal Party, or PLP, won Thursday's general election. Outgoing Prime Minister Hubert Minnis conceded defeat in a phone call to Brave shortly after 9 p.m. In a statement to the media after his concession, Minnis said, quote, "I would like to thank the tens of thousands of Bahamians from across the Bahamas who voted for Free National Movement candidates. I also congratulate the FNM candidates who won seats in the House of Assembly. Our party presented its vision for the future to Bahamians from the northern islands of Grand Bahama and Abaco, all the way to the southern islands of Maikal. The people determined that they preferred the Progressive Liberal Party. My party and I accept that result. We are proud of our record the past 4+ years." Minnis, who was re-elected to the Killarney seat for a 4th successive time, said he will return to the House of Assembly to lead the opposition. The Antigua and Barbuda Cabinet has taken the decision to mandate COVID-19 vaccination for the public service. It's a landmark move in the sub-region and beyond as the country battles a crippling 3rd wave of the coronavirus. ABS's Ursel Charles Jr. reports.
The writing had long been on the wall. Low vaccination figures and a stifled economy are part of the rationale for government's major decision. All public sector workers have now been mandated to be vaccinated.
The government has taken the decision that effective Monday the 20th, we are going to ask all those persons who work for the government, be it directly in the ministries, in the statutory organizations, or in companies in which the government has a majority share, and this would include State Insurance Company and the Caribbean Union Bank. All persons who are unvaccinated are going to be required to stay at home as of Monday the 20th. That will further mean that they have a 2-week period to become vaccinated, because on the 1st of October, only persons who have at least had 1 dose of the vaccine will be allowed to return.
Exemptions will apply for those with medical certificates approved by the Chief Medical Officer and those with approved religious objections, among other categories. The minister outlined arrangements for salaries and wages, while unvaccinated employees are at home for the rest of the month, and he posits what will apply from October 1.
They will be paid for the remaining period of September. So from the 20th, they will be asked to stay at home, and until the end of September, they will be paid for that 2-week period. However, if on the 1st of October and they are not vaccinated, they will not be paid for as long a period as they remain unvaccinated.
The minister says Cabinet remains hopeful there will be no need for separation and for severance thereafter, and that all would avail themselves of the jab. In offering a rationale, rapidly rising numbers of positive COVID-19 test results, Minister Nicholas says, have had a knock-on effect.
The numbers as they are now have already put us into Category 3 on the CDC's list, and we are likely to get an amber rating at least from the UK government in very short order, with the numbers spinning out of control. What this means is that this does not portend well for our winter tourism season, which would presumably start in the end of October, early November. And if that were to be the case, it will further bring further ruin and harm to the government's coffers.
He adds there is constitutional cover for the decisions and there will be no need for any legal maneuvering. There will be ongoing negotiations, he adds, with trade union representatives and employee associations, among other stakeholders. For ABS News, I'm Ursel Charles Jr.
Internationally, Italy on Thursday made its anti-COVID Green Pass obligatory for all employees in a bid to boost vaccine rates ahead of the winter flu season. More in this France 24 report.
A quick scan to get into a special venue. These visitors to the Colosseum show their QR codes or green passes, proof that they're COVID negative and can safely enter the site. The rituals become second nature when it comes to cultural outings, but talk of extending the measure into the workplace sees opinion divided.
The Green Pass is an important tool to deal with this serious situation. In such a serious situation, we need effective solutions.
In my opinion, it is not fair, because if I am a free citizen, I can decide whether or not to get the Green Pass. When it's an obligation, we no longer live in a democracy, but in a dictatorship, so I do not agree.
The digital certificate was first launched across the EU to facilitate travel and then became mandatory in many countries, including Italy, for entry to museums, gyms and restaurants. That is, optional indoor leisure and entertainment activities. Eyebrows were raised when the measure was introduced for teachers and school staff last month. Now, workers who fail to present a valid pass could be suspended without salary but cannot lose their jobs. Unions are disputing certain key details, such as the cost of testing for those who aren't vaccinated. Applying the system to public or private workplaces is a first for an EU country, but one that authorities say is necessary. Italy has the second highest COVID-19 death toll in Europe, with more than 130,000 casualties, second only to the UK.
Protesters in Argentina are demanding jobs and an increase in social aid. There is anger over rising poverty and high inflation. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bo reports.
They took over the center of Buenos Aires demanding jobs and food assistance. Thousands of people from the poorest areas of Buenos Aires. Roxana Briquez says she has 3 children and no work.
The last year has been very difficult. My husband got some work in construction, but with the soaring prices, we cannot pay for everything.
Argentina's government has increased cash handouts and aid to assist the poor, but people here say much more needs to be done, as inflation continues to force prices up every month.
The government is trying to implement austerity measures and pay the IMF at the cost of the working class. We are the ones suffering the crisis and need genuine jobs with decent salaries.
The economic situation and the handling of the pandemic has put a huge dent in the government's popularity. Last Sunday, the Peronist Party lost in 17 provinces during this country's primary elections, including a key stronghold, the province of Buenos Aires. The loss has exacerbated the big divisions that exist within the administration, especially between President Alberto Fernández and his Vice President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner. On Wednesday, the Minister of Interior and other left-leaning government officials close to Cristina Fernández offered their resignation to the president. Argentina is currently negotiating a 40 billion debt with the IMF, and the president is trying to reduce the deficit and organize the economy, but his vice president is not going along with it. Instead, she wants to increase social spending to boost the party's chances of winning on November's legislative elections. Economists say the dispute is having an impact on Argentina's chances of recovering from the pandemic.
One thing is putting some money on the streets to improve their chances in November. The issue is whether you are going to do that and not seal a deal with the IMF and continue printing money. Nobody is going to benefit from that and the crisis it will generate.
Alberto Fernández wrote on Twitter, "This is not the time to raise disputes that divert us from our path."
Argentina is in the middle of an economic and now political crisis. And while the ruling coalitions continue to dispute and struggle over how to find a way out, there's millions of people who are filled with uncertainty about what will happen with the economy, with their income and their lives. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
And now for the weather. Present weather is partly cloudy with a gentle breeze of 10 miles per hour from an easterly direction. Seas are 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. Weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis today will be partly cloudy with a low chance of showers in the afternoon. Tonight will be fair to partly cloudy with a 20% or slight chance of brief overnight shower. Sunset today will be at 6:11 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow at 5:59 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey.